Unveiling deep-sea wonders, Submersible discovers thriving life in ocean trenches. An incredible and surprising discovery. A recent expedition has uncovered a vibrant array of marine life, thriving in the darkest depths of the ocean. Scientists have explored the remote and isolated trenches of the deep sea, revealing a network of marine organisms not just clinging to life, but actually thriving. These environments, with their extreme conditions such as immense pressure, limited food, and complete absence of sunlight, are incredibly challenging for survival. Although we know that tiny microorganisms can flourish in these harsh conditions, the presence of larger marine creatures is less well understood. Using a specialized submersible, researchers embarked on an exploration along the Kuril-Kamchatka and Aleutian trenches located in the northwest Pacific Ocean. They discovered communities of tubeworms and mollusks flourishing at depths exceeding 31,000 feet, approximately 9.5 kilometers. This depth is just shy of the ocean's deepest point, around 36,000 feet, about 11 kilometers. Previous surveys had hinted that larger organisms might be able to inhabit these abyssal zones, but this recent discovery has strongly validated those suspicions and highlighted the impressive extent of these thriving communities, according to Julie Huber, a deep-sea microbiologist from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, who was not directly involved in the study. Discover how numerous they are and how deep they've ventured, Huber remarked. Their diversity is striking, and they're located in a part of the ocean we've previously had limited access to. These groundbreaking findings were published in the scientific journal, Nature, on Wednesday. Without sunlight to produce their own food, many of these trench inhabitants, both large and small, rely on essential materials like carbon that descend from higher ocean layers. Interestingly, researchers suspect that the microbes in these deep-sea networks might be utilizing carbon that is gathered in the trenches over time, turning it into chemicals that seep through the ocean floor. Tubeworms and mollusks may survive by feeding on these minuscule organisms, or by sharing their habitat and consuming the byproducts of their metabolic activities. Future research will focus on how these resilient deep-sea species have specialized to sustain life in such demanding environments, and how they uniquely leverage chemical reactions to obtain their nourishment, as highlighted by study co-authors Mengran Du from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and Vladimir Mordakovich from the Russian Academy of Sciences. Their presence challenges long-held beliefs about the potential for life under extreme oceanic conditions. So, what do you think? Could there be even more undiscovered life forms thriving in the ocean's most secluded depths? Deep-sea discovery. Vibrant oasis of chemical-eating creatures in the Pacific. A vibrant oasis of chemical-eating creatures discovered in the deep Pacific. Imagine a thriving community of life existing in one of the most extreme environments on our planet, where sunlight never reaches and temperatures are frigid. This is not just a fantasy. It's a reality that scientists have uncovered in the depths of the Northwest Pacific Ocean. In a remarkable exploration, researchers have identified clusters of tubeworms, known scientifically as frenulate siboglinids, which extend their striking red tentacle filled with hemoglobin. These tentacles are adorned with small mollusks perched atop the tubes, all located at a staggering depth of 9,320 meters, 30,500 feet, in a region called Wintersweet Valley. This discovery was made by a team from the Institute of Deep-Sea Science and Engineering, part of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and the findings were published in the prestigious journal Nature. What sets these marine communities apart is their unique method of obtaining energy. Unlike most animals that rely on organic matter for sustenance, these creatures thrive by converting chemicals into energy through a process known as chemosynthesis. During a series of dives in a crewed submersible, scientists observed these vibrant ecosystems, primarily composed of tubeworms and clams, flourishing in an environment rich in hydrogen sulfide and methane that seeps from the ocean floor. These ecosystems were found at depths that surpass even the height of Mount Everest, with the deepest point recorded at 9,533 meters in the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench. This depth is nearly 25% deeper than any previous observations of similar organisms, marking a significant milestone in marine biology. Marine geochemist Meng-Ran Du, one of the study's authors, emphasized the groundbreaking nature of this discovery, stating, "What makes our discovery groundbreaking is not just its greater depth, it's the astonishing abundance and diversity of chemosynthetic life we observed." He further described this community as a vibrant oasis in the vast desert of the deep sea, highlighting its richness compared to isolated pockets of life previously documented. While some marine species have been found at even greater depths, such as nearly 11,000 meters, 36,000 feet in the Mariana Trench, those creatures do not rely on chemical processes for their energy. The research team utilized their submersible, named Fendoze, to explore the Hadal zone, a region where tectonic plates collide and one plate slides beneath another, in a process known as subduction. Xiaotong Peng, a marine geologist and co-author of the study, described the oceanic environment at these depths as characterized by cold temperatures, complete darkness, and active geological processes. He noted that this harsh environment is home to the deepest and the most extensive chemosynthetic communities known to exist on our planet. The Kuril-Kamchatka Trench stretches approximately 2,900 kilometers, 1,800 miles, off the southeastern coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula, while the Aleutian Trench extends about 3,400 kilometers, 2,100 miles off the southern coast of Alaska and the Aleutian Islands. The newly discovered ecosystems are primarily composed of two types of chemical-eating animals: tubeworms, which can be red, gray, or white and measure around 20 to 30 centimeters, 8 to 12 inches in length, and clams that are white and can grow up to 23 centimeters, 9 inches. Some of these species may even be previously unknown to science. Despite the extreme conditions, these life forms have adapted remarkably well, demonstrating resilience and the ability to thrive. Interestingly, the researchers also found non-chemical eating animals, such as sea anemones, spoonworms, and sea cucumbers, which survive by consuming organic matter that filters down from above. Du, who served as the chief scientist for the expedition, described the experience of diving into this remote underwater world as extraordinary, likening it to a journey through time. Each descent transported me to a new deep-sea realm, as if unveiling a hidden world and unraveling its mysteries, he shared, expressing awe at the resilience and beauty of the creatures encountered. This study not only sheds light on how life can thrive in some of the most extreme conditions on Earth, but also raises intriguing possibilities for life beyond our planet. These findings extend the depth limit of chemosynthetic communities on Earth. Future works should focus on how these creatures adapt to such an extreme depth, Peng suggested. He also posited that similar chemosynthetic communities could exist in extraterrestrial oceans, as chemical compounds like methane and hydrogen are prevalent in those environments. What do you think about the potential for life in such extreme conditions? Could there be similar ecosystems thriving in the depths of other celestial bodies? Share your thoughts in the comments. World's deepest ecosystem discovered. Life at 30,000 feet below the Pacific Ocean. Scientists unveil a remarkable new ecosystem 30,000 feet below the surface. When Meng-Ran Du and her two colleagues piloted their submersible to depths exceeding 30,000 feet in one of the Pacific Ocean's most profound trenches, they were filled with uncertainty about what awaited them. What they encountered was nothing short of astonishing. Thick clusters of tubeworms, their blood-red tentacles rising like towering skyscrapers, while iridescent snails navigated the worms as if they were window washers. Additionally, bristly white creatures scurried between them, reminiscent of commuters rushing home during peak hours. An international research team has uncovered the deepest known ecosystem on our planet, thriving on chemicals that seep from the ocean floor, enveloped in darkness and water. This groundbreaking discovery pushes the boundaries of our understanding of where life can exist on Earth. This ecosystem is truly one of a kind, stated Dominic Papineau, an exobiologist and co-author of the study published in the journal Nature. It represents a completely new phenomenon that has never been observed before. The organisms residing in the Kuril-Kamchatka and Aleutian trenches, located between Russia and Alaska, challenge our previous notions of trench ecosystems, according to Lisa Levin, a professor emeritus of biological oceanography at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, who was not part of the research team. For many years, scientists have focused on life forms that flourish around hydrothermal vents, which are fissures that release superheated fluids. However, the organisms that inhabit cold seeps, areas where gases like methane and hydrogen sulfide seep from the ocean floor at near-freezing temperatures, often at tectonic plate boundaries, have received far less attention. To explore this uncharted territory, an expedition to the Northwest Pacific last summer utilized the crewed submersible, Fenduja, to dive into the Hadal zone, the ocean's deepest region, aptly named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. Countries like China and the United States, among others, are eager to exploit the mineral riches of the ocean floor, mining metals for electric vehicles and other technologies. This has raised concerns about the potential disruption of deep-sea ecosystems. The trenches studied in this research are likely too deep for mining activities, but their exploration showcases the advanced capabilities of nations and companies to investigate the vast open ocean. Our knowledge of the trench's depths is quite limited, remarked Du, a geochemist from China's Institute of Deep Sea Science and Engineering, which spearheaded the study. She noted that researchers have historically lacked the advanced technology necessary to reach these depths. Upon reaching the ocean floor, the researchers were surprised to find thriving communities of animals, primarily composed of marine tubeworms and mollusks, stretching over 1,500 miles in complete darkness. On the surface of the Earth, life is predominantly sustained by sunlight, with photosynthesis by plants or algae, forming the foundation of nearly all food webs. Previously, ocean scientists believed that trench-dwelling creatures survived by consuming dead animals and organic matter that drifted down from sunlit regions of the ocean. However, in the Hadal zone, life appears to thrive through a more intricate process. Analysis of the gases seeping from the ocean floor indicates that microbes are breaking down organic matter that accumulates in the trenches, subsequently releasing methane as a byproduct. In turn, symbiotic bacteria residing within the tubeworms and mollusks absorb the methane and hydrogen sulfide from these cold seeps, converting them into organic matter that nourishes their hosts. This process, known as chemosynthesis, may seem alien to us, but Papineau pointed out that humans also rely on colonies of microbes for digestion. We have bacteria in our gut, he explained. The researchers anticipate that several specimens collected from the trenches will reveal species previously unknown to science, although the exact number remains uncertain. This will be the focus of our next paper, Papineau added. They are also still investigating how these organisms manage to survive the extreme pressures found in the trenches. They must possess some unique adaptation or metabolic pathway to cope with the high pressure, Du suggested. Perhaps the most astonishing revelation, according to biologist Leslie Blankenship-Williams, is the source of the nourishing methane. It originates not from deep geological processes, but from microbes in the sediment. The existence of thriving chemosynthetic communities in the trenches has long been theorized, but this is the first study to document their presence below 9 kilometers at multiple sites, stated Blankenship-Williams, a professor at Palomar College in California who was not involved in the research. The research team discovered life on 19 out of 23 dives conducted over a 40-day period, suggesting that Hadal ecosystems may be more prevalent in Earth's ocean trenches than previously thought. The remarkable adaptability of these trench-dwelling organisms offers hope to scientists searching for signs of life in the oceans of other celestial bodies, such as Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons. There is approximately 3.7 billion years of evolutionary history between the oldest animal fossils and the oldest microbial fossils on Earth, Papineau noted. If deep extraterrestrial oceans have existed for billions of years, it is conceivable that similar chemosynthetic ecosystems with animal-like life forms could also thrive there. What do you think about the implications of this discovery? Could it change our understanding of life beyond Earth? Share your thoughts in the comments.